Hey everybody, Jake here and welcome to the hobby. PSA, one of the most prominent player in graded Pokemon cards, has halted most of their submission, and a big reason for this is that they are suffering from too much success. They are receiving more cards in every single day than they normally receive within a whole entire month. This is going to impact you whether you like it or not. It's going to impact everyone in the whole entire hobby, and it's going to give rise to something that we've never seen in the hobby before, and that is junk slabs. So I'm going to go over what these junk slabs are, how does PSA closures affect you, and how can you protect your collection going forward. So why did this occur? A big reason for why this occurred is that in spring of 2020, PSA had to close their doors for a couple of months because they were deemed a non-essential service and had to close their doors. And this was during one of the biggest trading card boom that we've seen in the past 15 years, and no Pokemon cards were currently being graded. To make matters worse, PSA simply cannot solve this easily. In another service or another company, you might be able to ramp up production, increase hiring, but that is very tricky when it comes to card grading because that's not a skill set that you can just easily hire for. Most people in the open job market do not know how to grade a Pokemon card. That is a skill set that you really have to train someone on, and that takes months, arguably years, for someone to become a proper card grader at PSA. So it's extremely tricky. It's not something simple that they can just ramp up production, similar to the Pokemon company where they just have to print more cards. PSA simply cannot increase the workforce to grade as many Pokemon cards as they are getting right now. To make matters worse, a bunch of people who would have never graded Pokemon cards before are currently grading Pokemon cards now. And I'll give you guys a very simple example of this. Right now, if you wanted to buy a Red's Pikachu in PSA 10, it currently will cost you right around $250 to $300. That's an exorbitant amount of money that most of us cannot simply spend for one Pokemon card. But you can buy an ungraded copy of Red's Pikachu for right around $50, and if it costs you $10 to $20 to get it graded, you save a lot of money. This is an example of someone who's not trying to take advantage of the system. They simply want a graded Red's Pikachu. But because of the exorbitant prices, they are forced to grade a copy for themselves. So this is a real snowball effect where a lot of people who would have never graded Pokemon cards before are grading Pokemon cards now. It's like a snowball rolling downhill, and it just keeps getting worse to the point that we are seeing right now, where pretty much everyone and their mother are grading Pokemon cards because why not? There's just no reasons not to. There's just so much value. There's just so much cost saving. There's just so much opportunity in the world of graded Pokemon cards. People are pretty much sending in every single card you can think of to get graded. Because PSA could not meet the demand for graded Pokemon cards, we saw a massive spike in the prices for graded Pokemon cards. For instance, let's use the Stained Glass Bird Trio for an example. It's a really iconic card from Hidden Fates. An ungraded copy of the Stained Glass Bird will run you around $10 to $20 for a near mint copy, but a PSA 10 copy of the Stained Glass Bird is currently going for right around $200. That is a massive gap from a ungraded copy to a graded copy. And this isn't really new. Collectors have known this for quite a while, and a lot of people are taking advantage of it. I mean, if you saw that price gap, why wouldn't you grade your Pokemon cards? It seems like very low risk for an extremely high reward. So to make matters worse, a lot of people were sending in cards that they would have never sent before because pretty much every single card right now is valuable if you get it graded. So what we are seeing right now is a rise in what I call junk slabs. This is a very new term. I haven't really seen anyone throw it around, so I'm going to coin it. What are junk slabs? Junk slabs are, I would say, Pokemon cards that are currently graded and are unlikely to ever go up in value, even in 100 years. So what kind of cards would those be? You're talking about graded holo rare cards, graded regular ultra rare cards, cards that exist in the thousands upon thousands of quantities and have very low demand. So these are cards that realistically will never really go up in value, but because there is such a high demand in graded Pokemon cards right now, people are just sending in any old card to get graded. I personally have around 200 cards off at PSA currently being graded. These are usually high rarity cards that I want to have for my own personal collection. 200 is actually a high number. This is probably the most I've ever sent off to PSA in any given year, and there's a lot of reasons for that, but especially other collectors, I know people that have well over 10,000 cards off at PSA right now. Not one, I know multiple collectors with more than 10,000 cards off at PSA. And realistically, the market will not be able to take all of those cards. There's just too many cards getting graded, and I don't think a lot of them are truly valuable. Over the course of the next 1 to 2 years, you're going to see a lot of graded Pokemon cards pop up on the open market. This is something that we know very well because it has occurred in a lot of other hobbies in the past. Give the comic book hobby, for instance. Over the last 30 years, you saw a bunch of people grading just about any old comic book, regardless of it being valuable or not, because anyone who was around 30 years ago thought that if you had a comic book and you had it graded, it might be worth something in 50 years. And you're going to see something very similar with Pokemon cards, where a lot of graded Pokemon cards are going to pop up, and these are cards that I would say are not going to retain a lot of value long term because there are tens and thousands of copies of these and very few people actually want them. They are going to be very tricky. These junk slabs are designed to pick on unsuspecting collectors because people don't really know what they're currently looking at. And a lot of these cards, people think, well, if someone took the time to get it graded, it's probably worth holding on to. What do I really have to lose? Well, honestly, you have to lose your money. So what can you do to avoid all of these junk slabs? If you buy a graded Pokemon card, remember the reasons why you're buying this card. Are you buying these cards because they are valuable? Are you buying these cards because they are worth it? Are you buying these cards because you really love and enjoy these cards? Don't buy a card simply because it might go up in value in 50 years. Buy it because it's something that you really enjoy. The more that you focus on your enjoyment rather than buying any old card, you're going to realize that you're going to buy a lot better quality cards. And in general, this doesn't mean you don't have to buy junk slabs. There are plenty of cards that I think could be worth it inside your collection, even if they don't go up in value. That's not the only reason to buy a graded Pokemon card. For instance, you might want to buy a Machamp from Champion's Path because this is a really iconic card from the set that you're going to pull again and again. A lot of people know that, and it could be a fun conversation story if you have a graded Machamp inside your collection. Even if it doesn't go up in value, it has other redeeming qualities. In general, what I'm trying to say is, buy what you enjoy and try not to buy a card just because it's graded, because I'm seeing a lot of this go on where a lot of people are buying just about any vintage graded Pokemon cards or holo rare cards or ultra rare cards because it's graded. Don't buy it because it's graded, buy it because you actually like the card, enjoy it, want to display it, and have it inside of your collection. The more you focus on what you enjoy rather than looking at it just from an investment point of view, you're going to do much better long term, even from an investment point of view. Even though I know the market is going to be flooded with graded Pokemon cards over the next 1 to 2 years, I believe that a lot of the graded Pokemon cards in my own personal collection are going to retain their value because a lot of the cards in my collection are truly desirable, very rare, highly collectible, and cards that I really love with exceptional artwork. If you follow these rules and buy cards that are truly rare, your collection is going to retain a lot of its value regardless of the ebbs and flow of the market. A lot of the cards in my collections have extremely high demand for them and a very low supply. You just can't buy more copies of some of the cards that I currently have. So these are the cards that I say you should definitely focus on. Cards that you really love, enjoy, and are fun to display. The more you think about it from a collector's point of view, the better off you are as an investor as well. PSA closing their doors is definitely going to cool off the market. Whether you are a collector, whether you like graded Pokemon cards or not, you're going to be impacted because people can't grade Pokemon cards. They're probably going to buy a lot less singles. People are going to be less inclined to buy Pokemon cards if they can't grade them. And you might also see a price drop in the sealed products market because if you can't grade Pokemon cards, people are going to be less inclined to buy products, crack the packs open, and send those cards off for grading. If that's no longer possible, there's going to be less demand for sealed products. So a lot of these market forces are going to be driving prices down over the next 1 to 2 years. I'm really excited to see what's going to occur because this is a really exciting time to be a Pokemon card collector. There's plenty of volatility in the market, lots of interesting ups and down swings, so plenty of interest right now. And honestly, it's really enjoyable for someone like me because there's never a dull moment as a collector at all. There's so many things happening right now. There's so many things to discuss. A lot of people are saying this is good, this is bad, this is going to raise the prices for graded cards, this is going to lower prices for graded cards. No one knows for sure, but it's a lot of interesting conversation and I really enjoy it all. So I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on what you currently think is going to occur. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? I'm down to hear all of it. So thank you so much for watching and I will see you guys next time.